Hey guys, this is Mattjestic Gaming, welcome, and today we'll have a very special recording of a particular guide for you guys. Today we have the 5 top things that people make mistakes in auto chess. Someone has asked me yesterday what are my thoughts on the mistakes in auto chess, and after answering him, I felt it was much necessary we make a guide on this. I felt that instead of saying the good things about auto chess, let's look at some of the mistakes people tend to make in auto chess. We have several replays prepared to show a good example of what to do and what not to do in each of the replays. There's some highlights, there's some things I'll be going over, and there's also a bonus clip we'll be looking into after this 5 things not to do. So the first 2 things not to do, I think most of you have guessed it. The first thing not to do is people tend to not save enough gold. I know this is very basic, but this is so true. People tend to be under saving. And after this first mistake people tend to do, the second one come along because people tend to be under leveled. If you don't save up for your economy, you tend to be under leveled. And what does that mean? Because you don't have enough economy, once you get to the mid game, you can't level up correctly to match how other people are leveling. You can't roll for your units, you can't be strong enough, and you tend to lose the mid game because first, you're not saving, second, you don't have the money to level. So let's look at those 2 mistakes and how can we deal with them. The first thing with saving is that we do want to be saving, but we want a balance. If you save too early, what's going to happen is you're going to lose a lot of health. And yes, we can go open fraud, we can go on a losing streak, but we really want to value our health as a part of a resource. So how do we do that? I'll touch on that very soon. Second thing, yes, we do want to be leveling. We don't want to be leveling blindly, but each time we level, it does open a slot for us. And if we have units and we put more units on the table, technically it should make us stronger, right? Yes and no. We don't want to be leveling blindly. What I mean by people are not leveling correctly is not about leveling in the early game. What I meant is leveling in the mid game. Around round 17 is the first threshold we should be looking at to level, because level 17 gives the perfect multiples of 4. What that means is you don't spend extra 5 gold to level. It hits the 4 perfectly, so you just have to do maybe 3 or 2 times, you'll be hitting a level up. And level 17 is optional if you want to level or not. What I highly recommend to level is level 21, level 26, and level 31. I explained in many of my guides that this is the ideal level for most players to level subconsciously. People don't think about it, people just do it after the neutral round because they feel like, oh, I just had some saving with the neutral round, I want to power up, I got some items, time for me to roll, time for me to level up, time for me to be stronger. You want to do this actively to combat those that level subconsciously, because you don't want to be punished, you want to be ready for them when they level up. So what I mean by people not leveling is people not leveling correctly in the mid game, not the early game though. Now, in this particular replay, it's very interesting. It's about something not to do. So in this particular replay, we have 2 challenges. The first challenge is the chat has challenged me to not save any gold. Notice how it's very similar to what we just said. The second challenge is the chat is challenging me to not level at all. So I won't be leveling here. So let's see what happens. We're going to be fighting. And in the early rounds, we actually do pretty well. I'm going to skip a little bit. So in the early round, we managed to find, so let me show you. This is round 8. We managed to find some of the 2 stars. Not bad. We managed to have a nice pool of units that are close to 2 stars. Not bad at all. And round 10. And again, the challenge is I don't save any gold. I can't even have gold more than 5, so I'm spending everything to roll. And you think that, hey, wouldn't this give you a higher chance of finding a 3-star unit? No, actually, unless you get so lucky, because the pool of 1-cost units are so wide, it's so hard for us to find the 3 stars unless you get really lucky. But most of the time, we don't get that special RNG. So what does that mean? That means if you're not leveling and if you don't save up a good economy, what's going to happen is once we hit around 17 or 18, things are going to turn terrible for us. And yes, we're going to keep rolling, and because we can't level with gold, that was the challenge in this game, we really do fall off after level 15. After round 15, that is. I'm going to skip a little bit. Here I'm just taking all the value units, I'm taking all the pairs, making different 2 stars. but that's not enough. We actually lost the 4th round. And let's see, have a look at round 17. The first round, I recommend we should be leveling. Usually at level 17, what you want to be doing is you want to hit level 7. But you can stay on level 6 if you have just enough. If you were looking for saving, but under a few conditions. If you know leveling to level 7, you can't place a strong unit down. When I say strong unit, I mean something that is a key factor for the synergies. Say the 4th troll, say the 4th orc, or say the 3rd goblin for the goblin synergy. But if it's not that, then putting down 1 star at this round is not that beneficial. So not necessarily you have to level 17, but the crucial level is level 21. Let's have a look. See, after the neutral round, which we do defeat the neutral round despite the fight only have 6 units, and yes, I combine the lone druid and see the awkward thing here, guys. If I had the economy and if I had a spot, I would put down a lone druid. But because I don't have the economy and because I don't have a spot, yes, I'm doing this because it was a challenge, so I don't have any economy. What I would have done is I would have leveled up, put this lone druid down. A 2-star lone druid will give us so much power spike, and we need the power spike on 21. Let's have a look what happens on 21. And yes, this was a public game. That's why people are leaving, and this was to test our particular challenge. We're actually facing someone with orc mages. They have 8 units, we only have 6. And yes, we do get annihilated, I know. But yeah, this again highlights the importance of economy and the importance of saving. Saving, economy, and leveling, that is. So we're going to go to the end, very end. What you're going to see is, because, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, if you don't level at all, you'll be sitting on level 6 until round 32, I think. So that was definitely a hidden trap in the challenge. So we don't win anything at all because we only have 6 units. Again, it shows the importance of leveling and saving correctly. We're going to go to the second game now because we're pretty much dead in this one and there's nothing to show on this replay. Hey guys, this is the second replay we'll be looking at, and here I'll address 2 other mistakes people tend to make. We do recall that from the first replay, we have 2 of the most common mistakes being not saving and being not leveling up in the mid game. Now, there are some special mistakes people tend to make. It's that the first mistake is people tend to follow rules too rigorously. People tend to follow methods without thinking why they're following them. So I want to say people are not flexible, people are not dynamic enough to adjust for all the factors. That's the third mistake. And the fourth mistake comes hand in hand. It's because people tend to not stay on the correct level properly. People tend to not stay on the correct level for long enough, or people tend to go over the correct level and put themselves in a worst spot in terms of RNG. Let me explain. This mistake is quite easy. You can say, hey, let's be flexible. We can be flexible. We can think of things. We can think of, how to adjust income. We can think of how to adjust unit selection. But it's very, very difficult for players at all levels to be flexible. So I want to touch on the fourth mistake, that people don't stay on the correct level first, and then we touch on the third mistake. This mistake, why is it a mistake? Let me show you guys. If I'm looking for units such as goblins, most of my goblins are actually one cost unit. What does that mean? One cost unit. As our builders level up automatically, or if we spend gold, each time a builder level up over here, we lose the rate for 1-star unit, or 1 cost unit. That means each time we go to level 4 and level 5, we have a lower chance of finding those 1 cost unit. And that's why in my goblin rerolling strategies, I used to tell you guys that it's so nice to be rerolling at level 4 because you have the higher chance of finding goblins. And this does work pretty nicely for most people in the early game, and you do have an early game advantage. I'm going to go a little further on that, because a mistake is not only about 1 cost unit, mistake is also about 2 cost and 3 cost unit. Because 4 cost, the purple and the legendary units are pretty straightforward. You just want to be higher level for them. The mistake really lies in the 2 cost and the 3 cost. What does that mean? We have the highest chance of finding a 2 cost unit at level 4 and level 5. I'm not touching on level 3 because we can't stay on level 3 for too long. At level 4 and level 5, you have 35% chance of finding a 2 cost unit. That means if I'm setting up 2 Beastmaster, I actually want to stay on level 5 before I go to level 6 because I have a high chance of finding my Beastmaster level 5. And again, if you go to level 6 there, you actually reduce your chance of finding a 2-cost unit from 35% to 30%. And you might be asking, hey, is that really that much of a deal? I think in RNG game, a little bit do help, but it's not that important. So that's why we need to think to be flexible as well. Let me touch on the 3-cost unit, then we touch on the flexibility. For 3-cost unit, the highest rate of finding a 3-cost unit is actually level 6 to level 8. The rates are unchanged, and it's going to stay the same. Once you level to level 9, by the way, you actually lower your chance of finding a 3-cost unit. So most people in the mid game tend to try to level up as quickly as they can because they are thinking, hey, leveling up is always good. Put more units down, I have a higher rate for my units. But for 3-star units, that's not actually the case. If you're sitting on 2-star Shadow Thing and you're just missing that 1 or 2 Shadow Thing to make your 3-star Shadow Thing, and you all of a sudden go to level 9, you actually reduce the chance of you finding that Shadow Thing ever again. And that's something really critical. That's why you see some of the good players, they actually start rolling at level 8 because they know this is the highest level for the highest rate of 3-cost units. And they're going to stay there, they're going to roll for the Shadow Things or for the razors they want, then they're going to level up. So that's something critical. So it's about staying on the correct level for the units you want. This works perfectly for the aggressive rerolling strategy early game, so we stay on level 4 a lot. This works well if we stay on level 4 and level 5 for the 2-cost unit, and works really well if we stay on level 6 and level 8 for the 3-cost unit. But there's a downside to it, is that if you're not flexible enough, this comes with the mistakes here, by the way, guys. If you're not flexible enough, what's going to happen is you tend to follow this too regularly and you miss the big picture. The big picture over here is that we want to not only consider about the rates of the units. If it's just about rates, we'll be playing Excel games instead of tower defense like a Battle Royale games. So what's going to happen is, not only do we consider what is the high rate of my goblin rolling, we also consider our streaks, our income, because income and economy is so important for us. Let me explain. So currently I have lots of goblins and looks like I'm going to win this round. What am I decision making for this particular round? This is the perfect round. I want to make the example. In this round, 2 things are going through my mind. One is this round, level 4, I have the highest rate for my goblins. Second thing is, hey, I just won a few of my rounds. I'm going to pause here actually. So I'm going to pause here. I just won a few of my rounds. And winning a few of my rounds, I sit on 100% HP. That means I start a really nice early win streak. And I really want this win streak. So I'm actually balancing the goblins rates and the win streak. And usually the win streak, the economy really outshines most other things because I want, remember in my win streak and losing streak guide, I attach in the description below. You want a win streak, you want a losing streak. You don't want to be in between. And it's so good to have an economy with goblins on any build. We know how strong economy is. You can be rolling, you can do things. So here, 2 things goes into my mind. I just need 5 go to level. And what can I put on the table if I level? If the only thing I can put on the table if I level is a 1-star enchantress or 1-star bounty hunter, I won't level. Because that means my rates of goblins are better. But if I can put a 2-star tinker on the table, I will level. Because higher chance of me protecting my win streak and better economy for me to come. And this is the flexibility part, because looking here, we're sitting on 2/4 XP. That means we can wait another round to enjoy the higher goblin rate. We can even be rolling for more goblins, but I am leveling because I'm flexible. I know I value my win streak more than my rates for now. And yes, I do sacrifice my 1-cost rates. That's unavoidable, but it's a trade-off. I have to take it. So, and of course you can be asking, hey, why don't you take off a timber and put a tinker down? Tinker is okay at 2-star, but timbers are incredible at 1-star. They do 150 AoE damage and really low CD. And they're mercs, and they heal with the merc regen, and they do massive AoE. So I think without the timbers, without the 2 timber, we might still win, but not so easily. So Timber is a great level 1, and they are one of the only 1-star units I'll put down on the table for 2-cost units. Not even Beastmaster, but Timber for sure. Again here, guys, what's going to happen is I'm facing the same decision making again. Do I want to level, or do I want to enjoy the higher rates for my 2-star Timber? Here, it's the same question, but a different result, because I don't have a pair forged. I don't have a 2-star. That means if I level on the next round, so notice here, next round I'll be 4/8. That means I only need 5 gold to level. That means I only need power up once. But leveling up once, having a 1-star Shadow Flame is not going to be that beneficial for me. So let's see what happens. I'm going to see the units. I made a crucial mistake. Let me show you guys. This is something on the side. So in case you guys didn't know, you can open the Dota settings and have smart cast going. If you have smart cast, you don't have to click twice. That means you can have a better APM, you can do things faster. But having a smart cast and accidentally pressing E where your mouse is over a unit means the unit disappears like over here. So I pressed E, I was gonna go to Enchantress, see I was laughing in the game. I was like, oops, I actually saw my clockwork. But yeah, that was just a little thing on the side. So smart casts do allow you to do better APM, but you really have to be used to it. The highlight over here is sitting on 10 gold. I'm not that heavy about the saving. I don't care about the 10 gold. What I care about is my win streak. So what that means is I'm not leveling up, not because I want the extra gold. I'm not leveling because I think I value the rates of a higher 2-star unit. And I don't have anything good to put up there if I level up. If I had a 2-star here, I will instantly level. What I could have done is I could put 3 Enchantresses down and make them a 2-star. That's the only alternative I could have done. But that means I lose my Enchantress investment, right? Everyone wants investment. So again, level 10, I don't need to do anything because we just sit on level 10 because this is a neutral round. Losing a neutral round doesn't lose your streaks. And yeah, Clock came. He's like, where's my buddy? Why did you sell him? So we're going to sit on level 10. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And yes, on this round, after round 10 finish, we found another 2-star. I remember what I said earlier, protecting win streak and always put a 2-star down. So I put my 2-star down, I leveled up. I let go of the higher goblin rates and I let go of the higher timber rates. Because level 5 to level 6 you lose rates for 2-cost units. And what's going through my head is, yes, I could be saving because I'm sitting on 23 gold at level 11. That means I can be going to about 50 gold at level 15. And let's see what happens. We're gonna win this round. And we found a Beastmaster and a Juggernaut. Well, I'm gonna buy it. And I'm gonna fight again. We actually lost this round, surprisingly. Because for some reason, the Beast was just too strong for us. We can't deal with them. And yes, we lost this round. And that broke our win streak, but it's fine. We saved 30 gold over here. Let me get the dog, guys, sorry. So yeah, I'm back, guys. So at this round, we did not do anything. What we did was we had the savings, and our plan is to save up to 50 gold. And as you can see, the reason why I'm saving and the reason why I am not leveling, I'm not rolling, because I know the importance of economy. Remember my first 2 mistakes, people are not saving. And again, so 2 things I want to highlight. Being flexible enough means you value potential instead of being rigid about saving. I know saving is important. I know we want to get to 50 gold as quickly as possible, but I'm still buying units here. Why do I buy the Templar? Why do I keep the Shadow Thing? If I sold them, I can be on 40 gold, right? But the reason I keep them is simply because I value potential more. I value the mid-game potential. Because I know I can always sell them to get my gold back. What I'm losing here, in reality, is just 1 gold. I'm not losing my speed to 40 gold. I can always sell them if I need gold. But I'm spending 1 gold of saving to have a higher potential for the mid game. For the mid game, that is. So yeah, here Beastmaster came, no more potential with me. I'm going to sell the Juggernaut, get the Beastmaster. Simply because I value potential. If I sold all of them, I'll be 50 gold around 14 with great amount of health. But then what happens in the mid game? I need to find them again, right? So why do I sell myself short? I want to be dynamic, I want to think about long terms, I want to plan for the mid game. And then this was introduced in the mid game survival guide as well. So you want to keep the potential. Saving is great. We can always sell those units for gold. We can always be on around 50. We can always be on 50 gold. But the highlight again is to prepare yourself for the mid game. This is the dynamic and flexible part of the thinking. So here, we got to 50 gold, and we got a Shadow Thing. This is excellent. And guess what? We sold the Doom because I was planning to sell the Doom to make up my money, because I don't need a second demon to take away my demon buff. So let's have a look at this particular positioning where we are. I'm going to pause here because we're actually just adjusting for orbs. We're sitting at 50 gold, 51 gold, around 15, with a nice healthy amount of goblins where we found by aggressive rolling and early rolling, but we're flexible enough we didn't get trapped into rolling Furnace Timber. Because we're so close on Timber, but we didn't get trapped on that. So we're flexible enough and we're wide enough to be investing on Beastmaster and Shadow Thing, which one did pay off. And this Templar might pay off, might not pay off, because I can branch into 3 assassins with the potential of some really strong bounty hunter. But I can still sell her for 4 gold. She's just a hard currency for me. So, being flexible, plan for the early game, plan for the mid game, and open yourself wide really landed us onto round 15 with 51 gold. I know this is not always the situation, but this is a good example to share some of the things that people might make mistakes, because subconsciously I have stayed on the correct level, I have made my balance with decision making to be flexible, and I have made a subconscious choice to be saving, but not prioritizing on saving so much that I sacrifice my potential. So let me list it for you guys. Potential is number one thing for me, the potential for a 2-star unit. The second thing is saving and economy. The third thing is the rates of units. The fourth thing is HP in the early round. So again, potential, saving, rates, and HP. This is for the early game. And I think this particular replay does demonstrate that very nicely. We're going to go to the third replay. And hey guys, this is the third replay for this particular part of the guide. Now let me just remind us what are some of the mistakes we highlighted earlier. Some of the mistakes we highlighted earlier was not leveling properly in the mid game, not having a great economy, or not saving. So those are the two. And then on the second replay, we'll look at not being flexible enough and not staying on the right level for the right units you needed. Being flexible enough, I want to remind us, is that I personally value potential, then I value economy, then I value rates, then I value HP. So those are the four things I list with my value to be flexible. Now we're going to the third game. What does this game show us? Oh, it's going to be very interesting. This game is going to show us that we want to be spending, we want to be leveling, not only for economy, not only for rates, but we also want to be leveling for the synergies. And people sometimes don't do that, or people don't do that correctly. In this particular replay, we're going to be looking at elves. We all know elves with 6 elves and 3 elves give different benefits. And the 6 elves gives us evasion up to 39%, I think, if I recall properly. Let me get the door, sorry guys. Yeah, my friend just got back and he's just cleaning up the kitchen. So, okay, we're back. So with the 6 elves, what that means is he's banning the kitchen. I need to tell him. Sorry guys. So with the 6 elves, we have a great amount of evasion. Evasion is very relevant when you stack more evasion. And what that means is having about 40 or 39% evasion is really so much better than having the 20% evasion with 3 elves. So what we're going to be witnessing is a great example of us actually leveling and spending, because with this time we're prioritizing our synergies, we're prioritizing our unit composition instead of saving, instead of the rates. Oh yeah, of course we consider the rates because some of the greater rates is the levels we reroll for the elves. So we're gonna have a look. We're gonna be losing in the early game. Nothing too good for us. We did get the anti-mage, and what I'll do is I'll be skipping us into the mid game very soon. So notice how here, the first thing I want to show you guys is, although we're losing, we're leveling up. What does that mean? We're losing but leveling because we know what is the win condition for elves and druids. The win condition for elf and druids is actually a lone druid or actually a Templar assassin. Templar assassin will fit perfectly for the 6 assassins, while a lone druid will give us a power spike when we fuse those druids to 3-star. And what's the highest rate of finding those units? That is, the higher level you are, the higher it is. So that means we want to be going as high level as we are, as quickly as we can. So I don't mind having losing or winning streak right now. The goal is to get my win condition for the early game, which is a Templar and which is a Lone Druid. So that's why I'm leveling. I'm even leveling here, guys. And yeah, so one thing I want to show you guys is I actually leveled here by going from the actual gold is 5 gold over here. So notice how I leveled here. So I went from 3/8 to 3/8 to 7/8. That means after this round I'll be experiencing the level 6 rates instead of the level 5 rates. I'm pushing my levels because this time we're focused on unit composition, we're focused on synergies, we're focused on win conditions, and that is my Lone Druid, and that is my Templar. So let's see what happens to us. See, we got to level 6 when the round started, so this row was actually a level 6 row instead of a level 5 row. And you know, we want higher rows for higher purple units. And I'm also opening myself up to Dragon Eyes, by the way. So I'm going to skip a little bit. And my first purple was the Keeper of the Light. I know I did all that for Keeper of the Light, and I think I was facepalming. I was telling chat, you know, how great this strategy is and how likely we're going to find a purple unit. And we found a Keeper of the Light. I was like, facepalm. And let's see. After this run, let me show you guys something. We did find a Luna, and we did make a 2-star Luna, which is actually a really nice upgrade for us. And again, notice how I'm keeping true with my idea of keeping as many potential as possible. So what that means is I'm not keeping the Keeper for a particular reason, but there's a reason for the Keeper. So I'm keeping the Park and the Viper for a Dragon to come. I'm keeping the Elves for the Templar to come. I'm keeping the Druids for the Lone Druid to come. I'm keeping the Razor and the Keeper of the Light in case I want to swap into Mages with the Park. So a lot of options, a lot of varieties, but definitely don't try to overdo it. I did overdo it here a little bit, but the reason being is I want a Keeper to increase my chance of finding other purple units. I was a little jelly here to see the Lone Druid and the Disruptor. And we won with the healing. Notice how I am saving, but what I'm saving for, it's actually not what you guys would think I'm saving for. I'm saving for when we get to 4/16 experience to level up, unless I find something good, that is. So still open myself to be more flexible and prepare myself for higher level for my win conditions. So let's have a look. We did find one win condition, which is the Elves, by the way. So the moment we find a Templar, we look into the 6 Elves, and we were very fortunate to get the little Phantom Assassin. And yes, we leveled. See, I was saving to level up. I actually misclicked once. I blame the lag, guys. So I misclicked once, I actually leveled 1 extra. But notice how in this particular replay, we prioritized on the synergies and races and the combinations instead of the saving, instead of the rates. Of course, the rates are important. That's the reason we leveled, right? So the main focus is to get to the level of your correct rates and get your synergies off as soon as you can. Because the moment you get your synergies off, you realize it's so much easier to save when you're winning, and so much easier to protect your health when you're winning as well. And good enough things for Elves is that the highest rates for Elves are actually in the level 7 zone, because most Elves are 3-star or 4-star that we wanted. Yes, we do lose chance for Anti-Mage and Lone Druid and Furon, the chance of a Train Protector, a Fury, and Anti-Mage, we do lose that rate, and even the Park rate. But what we do get is a higher Windrunner rate, higher Marauder rate, higher Templar and Phantom Assassin rates. And again, we did lose that round. We would have lost worst if we didn't have the 6 elves. What I'm planning again is, if we can find a Lone Druid, we get another power spike. If we don't find a Lone Druid, I'm still open for dragons. Notice how again, around level 14, I'm still prioritizing on my potential instead of savings, because I understand my combination, I understand my race and my synergies is the powerhouse for the mid game. I'm not too worried until I find my crucial units. So again, this is different. Last few rounds I was prioritizing on economy, and this time I'm prioritizing on unit composition. And you might be asking, hey, this is so confusing. Why are you prioritizing on unit composition here? So this is why it's so important for you guys to check out my guides on the different type of races for the mid game, for the late game, and for the early game. If I have a particular race that is an early game race, like the goblins, I need my income. I need income so badly to get goblins to the late game for the 6 goblins for a high chance of techies. But if I'm a mid game race like elves, I know what my power spikes are, and I know I just need to collect my elves, collect my 6 elf, and see how strong the evasion is for me. But if I'm a late game race again for hunters, I know I need my lineup, and I need my economy, and I need my things. So again, what I'm prioritizing on is based on the race I'm playing. So a simple summary is that if I'm playing goblins, I want savings. If I'm playing orcs and warriors, I want savings. If I'm playing druids, I probably want savings, and I probably want level as well for the Lone Druid. If I'm playing elves and hunters, I want my lineup, and I want to level up for my lineup. I want to get the correct lineup. I want to protect my health. So yes, this particular replay, we do demonstrate the importance of the importance of us to understand that not only do we work for the savings, not only do we work for higher rates, we also work for the lineup. So this again allows us to be versatile. Notice how we found a Lone Druid, which is a very nice win condition for us in the early game. But now he's still great, a great power up, but he's not as highly rated because Templar did come first. So our whole lineup went into elves instead of druids. And it's a different mindset as well. And I think this replay did demonstrate something very nice, is that the 3 things we really have to look at is economy, unit composition, and HP. What do I mean by HP is that initially in the early game we can sacrifice HP, but once we get to the mid game and the late game, all of a sudden we realize nothing matters except HP, because what HP allows us to do is that HP allows us to stay relevant, HP allows us to survive when we lose massively, and HP allows us to be the top 3 when other guys are stronger but they don't have enough HP. I think one of the biggest mistakes people tend to make is they don't see HP as a resource. By the time they realize how important HP is, it's too late. So I really emphasize on the idea of protecting HP, protecting how much HP you have, see it as a valuable resource, and know its value. In the early game, it's not valuable. In the mid game, it's a hidden gold. It's going to be very valuable soon in the late game, but most people don't realize it. In the late game, it's super valuable. So the highlight over here is also this particular method of valuing builds and leveling up quickly and rolling for your particular combination of elves will help us protect HP. Because one big mistake people tend to make is they forget HP is a crucial resource in the late game. It's so important. That's why most open fought players or most open fought combinations tend to be top 3 but not number 1, because they can't suffer a loss because they don't have enough resource of HP. So I'm gonna go on to the bonus clip first now, guys. Hey guys, this is a bonus clip after the 5 things or 5 biggest mistakes people tend to make on the auto chess game, I feel. And I'm gonna do a conclusion on those 5 things, but let's watch the bonus clip first. This particular bonus clip, what I want to show you guys is the position we're in. Currently, we're not doing too well in the early game. Yes, again, this is an offline. And we're not doing too well. We got baited by the Sand King as well. And again, you might think we're doing well, but look at HP. We're level 14, around 14, we have 48%. And yes, we're fighting. We're losing HP rapidly. This is around 20, we're sitting at 46%. Something special is going to happen. Let's see what our combination is. Currently, we just found the Dragon Knight. And finding this Dragon Knight, losing this round, procs me to want to transform my build into a Dragon build. That's fine. And look at where I am. I actually have no saving at all because I was rolling, I was looking for Dragon Knight because I want to complete my Dragon Knight. But the highlight here is this movement of the Crystal Maiden. What's in my mind is, yeah, I didn't find a Lone Druid as well, so sad, right? What's in my mind is, I want to go into Mages. Why do I want to go into Mages now that I have a Dragon lineup? The reason being is that I know Mage is the only one with a comeback potential over here. This is a bit of the insight to understand the game. I think this part is lagged a bit for the server. This is the only comeback mechanics for Mages and Dragons to do surprising amount of damage in combination of the Windrunner. And yes, the server did lag for everyone for this particular replay. We found a Lone Druid, which is excellent. I very much need a power spike, but the downside is we can't have the Lone Druid down because we don't have enough units. I can replace the Sand King with the Lone Druid if I get a 2-star Lone Druid. So what's going on? What's going through my head right now is with this particular loss. This is not an easy loss, by the way. We're sitting on level 7. We have 38% with no income, and everywhere else is stronger than us. So what do? We found a Lone Druid. I instantly sold the Sand King. We also found a Maelstrom, which is very nice, but not something that can save us. What is going through in my head is I need to save enough gold so that I can level to level 8, put down this Crystal Maiden. And this Crystal Maiden is going to be so magical. So yeah, we did win with the Lone Druid. The moment I got enough gold to level up, yeah, I'm having trouble with the controls, by the way. The moment I got enough gold to level up, I put down a 1-star Crystal Maiden. And this 1-star Crystal Maiden, what she does is she actually amplifies the damage the enemy taking by 40% of magical damage. You may be like, hey, you really need that Crystal Maiden? Yes, I do, because our main damage dealers are Puck, Razor, and Windrunner. Those 3 are the crucial things. And if they do 40% more damage, that means we can survive the mid game. We have a great chance to come top 4. And this is one of the great bonus clips I want to show you guys, is the comeback potential of a Dragon and a Mage. I don't recommend us trying this all the time though, but for this particular situation, we actually made this work really well. So we're going to be fighting. We got a Crystal Maiden to 2-star. We still have a 1-star Puck, and a 1-star Viper, and 1-star Dragon Knight. And what the crazy thing is, we actually have defeated almost everybody right now because of a unique lineup with the mindset of going to Mages. And yes, you might be, again, I leveled up here because I want to have more things on the board. I had a choice of Templar and the Keeper of Light. I think Templar is better in form of a tank because she's got Crystal Maiden to back up with the mana regeneration. Now, some of us was asking, why not the Keeper of Light? Why Crystal Maiden? Because Crystal Maiden give us mana. Crystal Maiden will enable Windrunner and Razor to charge up so much faster. Crystal Maiden allows the Lone Druid and the Tree Protector to summon or to cast so much faster. This was positioned in such a way that the Tree protects the Razor and the Lone Druid from the Anti-Mage. And just watch how much we shred through the elves and how much we start to come back. Now, this is round 29. So right now we're in the 2nd position. Let's go back. We're in the pretty much the last position, or the 2nd last position before we changed into Mage. We were right here. So round 21 to round 29, we went from 2nd last to 2nd position. We actually defeated everyone we found. So simply because I power leveled into the Crystal Maiden, I put a 1-star Crystal Maiden down, all of a sudden everything changed for me. So this is something I do want to highlight in this particular replay as well. It's that you want to be dynamic, you want to understand the curves for a particular combination. In my guide for my mages, I did mention that mages are the powerhouse for the mid game, and mage alone doesn't work, and dragon alone sometimes does not work. But when you combine two of the powerhouse for the mid game, and then it synergize so well, it's that this Crystal Maiden as a human, dragon as a human. We got the human silence, we got the mages, we got the elves, we got a lone druid because it's a fair unit. We also got a strong AoE lineup. That's the reason we can actually be going to the top 2 right here. Of course, we didn't do terribly well for this game because we have exhausted the potential. So what's going to happen is very soon the guys with the high savings, because they're in the danger zone, they're going to be spending, they're going to be rolling, so they're going to push us down. What this does is it secures us the position to be top 4, and that was the key. It was the comeback potential for this particular mindset. It's about not about to let's wait for us HP to go lower and then let's try to get something like a Dragon Knight. No, it's not about Dragon Knight. It's about branching into more stronger things in the mid game. And if you really want to check out the mid game powerhouses, make sure you check out my guide for the races tier list for the mid game and the late game in the description below. So I'm going to do a summary and a conclusion for the actual guides for today. And those are the 5 things that we should avoid and while we're going to watch this replay. So first thing is, people tend to not have a good economy. People tend to not save properly. The second thing is, people tend to not level up properly in the mid game. I'm not saying about the early game, I'm talking about the mid game over here. The third thing is, people are not flexible enough. People don't tend to adjust for situations like win streak, for situations like lose streak, and the fourth thing is, people tend to not stay on the correct level for the higher rates for the units. And the last mistake people tend to do is, people tend to not think about the combination and synergies hard enough. People tend to not favor the 6 elves, or people tend to not roll for the elves early enough. People are so caught up in the idea of we need 50 gold, we need to be level 7, that people actually forgot that sometimes if you complete your 6 elves, sometimes if you complete a synergy, it's actually more stronger. Sometimes if you complete your knight synergy, it's so much stronger. You actually want to complete it as early as you can, because people forget that health is a really important resource in the late game. And if you don't start saving health in the early game, in the mid game, you realize you're missing that crucial part of the health in the late game. And this will be the conclusion for today's guide. Thank you so much, guys, for all your supports. Thank you so much, guys. And if you want to support me further, please do check out my Patreon page. And please, any support is much appreciated. I really appreciate you guys commenting, liking, coming over to Twitch and saying hi. But if you want to go further, Patreon is definitely a great way to go. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, my friends.